What if that time I got reincarnated as a slime again? BY is StaciaPLE. Rimuru had been called to attend Walpurgis by none other than Guy Crimson himself. Realizing the sheer weight of the situation, Rimuru made haste to attend the fateful banquet, knowing full well that a gathering of the world's strongest beings was nothing to take lightly. The spatial coordinates were locked, the magicules aligned, and the transport sequence was fully underway. But right in the dead center of the transfer, the fabric of reality buckled. An unknown, completely mysterious power ripped through the void, intercepting the spatial tunnel. Before Rimuru could even comprehend what was happening, the universe spun violently out of control, dragging his consciousness backward through a vortex of pure, unadulterated energy. The cosmic clock was forcefully rewound. When the blinding light finally faded, the overwhelming power of a true demon lord was completely gone. The vast network of skills, the crushing aura, the status, all vanished into thin air. Left behind in the cold, damp darkness of a familiar cave was nothing more than a simple, jelly-like body. He was back. Back to the very beginning. Back to his exact first appearance as a helpless, baseline slime. Chapter 24, Beginning. Testarossa, how is it going there? The humans seem to have stopped before entering the forest, my lord. I suspect that they have sent scouts ahead in order to ensure a safe route that the army could use. Scouts, who? A wise decision, although it will probably be in vain. Because of Testarossa, that is. She has successfully infiltrated the human army. It was a bigger one than what farmers sent against us last time. I am assuming this is Yuki's fault. The reason I think so is because of how he was behaving recently. I had thought that he would stay put this time, but I am guessing he was quite suspicious of me. I did come out of nowhere, and Clayman must be the man that provided these extra people. There are about 30,000 of them from what Sue sees. That is 10,000 more men than last time. I should let Testarossa gather information about the army's purpose. If they have a different motivation than last time, I will spare them with my mercy. But if they don't, I will kill them all. I know it's harsh, but it's what I have to do. The moment you hesitate, the risk of you losing something dear to you becomes infinitely higher. I learned that the hard way. Testarossa, can you gather some intel on what exactly they gathered this army for? I see. You truly are benevolent, my lord. I will see to it that I do not disappoint you. She saw right through me. Guess that was too obvious. I will have to come home to Tempest as soon as possible. I visited Shizu and the kids for a short while, saying my goodbyes, for now. On my way towards Tempest, I sense a sky dragon, that very same one from before. Or at least, I thought it was. Great Sage reported that this one felt a bit different. Ooh? What do you mean by that? The sage confirmed that although the dragon had the exact same appearance, its magicule amount easily rivaled an unawakened demon lord. Wait, what? That is a big deal. How did it get that many magicules, though? The sage noted that there seemed to be an individual riding on it, meaning that person must be the culprit. Now that I look closely, there is a person riding there. Although, I don't know who the hell that person is. Let's just bring it down for now. There we go, and I knocked it unconscious. Great, as expected of me. The sage remained completely silent. Okay, I was just kidding. I didn't mean to knock out the rider. But I get to look more closely now. He has got a peculiar body type, similar to a demon. The sage then confirmed that this person was indeed a demon from Guy's lineage. Would you look at that? He really is a demon. It is kind of easy to tell from the way he looks, though. Wait, did you say from Guy's lineage? What is he planning on doing now? Well, I have to tell him off for a few weeks. Can't let there be constant attacks on Ingracia while Shizu and the kids are still there. Let's splash a potion on this guy. He looks like he is dead. Hello, are you alive there? Ah, my head. Who are you? Rimuru Tempest, nice to meet you. Rimuru? Please forgive my rudeness. Whoa, calm down there, dude. Don't suddenly kneel in front of me with all these people coming around. You know what, let's take advantage of this. Tell me, why are you here with such a creature? Were you planning on harming the city? I say loudly with a cold tone. Not at all. I can tell you are lying from the way you are behaving right now. Please spare me. Lord Guy has given me a task that I must not fail. My entire fate depends on this particular mission. Oh? And what would that be, if you don't mind me asking? I have been ordered to cause a ruckus here. Lord Guy said that no matter what, I must at least put the town into chaos. That guy. I swear his timing is too deliberate sometimes. Plus, some knights are coming our way, although they aren't approaching now since this sky dragon is intimidating the hell out of them if they get too close. Well, tell this to Guy, hold off on this attack until after Walpurgis, got it? But? Under my name, you will tell him this. I am sure you could get away with a scratch or two if you mention my name. Yes. I will do so immediately. Just like that, he flew off into the sky like he never existed. But it is strange. Doesn't Guy usually tell either Mizari or Rain to do the attacking instead? What could have possibly gone on in his mind? You there, miss? Can we have a talk? No thanks, I am busy. I will just run fast enough so that they will eventually give up on chasing me. I ran almost immediately. Seems like they are chasing me so far, then I will just have to speed up a little. Hey! If you won't. Leave this to me. I stopped at the sound of that voice. That voice clearly has a calming tone, yet to me, I hear a tone of malice. I turned around to see the source of the voice. What did I expect? It was Hinata, captain of the Paladin Knights. Should I continue to run or, shoot, run Rimuru, run? Hey, if you stop now, I will have a little chat with you. How about it? We are far away from the city now. Fine. I didn't drop my guard even once while my back was turned to her. Surprisingly, she is actually willing to hear me out. You don't know how much I wanted our first encounter to be like this. What do you want? How did you save Shizu-sensei? You are asking that question? And don't look at me with that nostalgic face, it is weird. Did you meet Shizu, perhaps? I have. Now, answer my question. How did you save her? Simple. By reforming her body, something like recreating her body of sorts. Is that why you look like her? Something like that, yeah. Hinata grips her sword tightly. She seems disoriented about something. Although I owe you a great amount of thanks for saving her, I must confirm for myself that you have no ill intentions towards her. You wanna go? Oh, crap, that just slipped out of my mouth. Hey, hey, hey! Do not look at me like that. I don't mean any harm. Now this is just going down the same way as before. Well, let's send a message to Benimaru for now. Sorry, but I must do what I believe is right. She dashes in a straight line towards me. Does she underestimate me, perhaps? Yeah, I did lose to her once, but that one didn't count. To me now, her attacks are slow. Refined, but slow, even without thought acceleration. Thanks to that, I was able to dodge her attacks swiftly. I have gotten better at spotting feints too, thanks to my daily training sessions with Milim and Hakuro. Why aren't you pulling out your sword? Do you think I am not worth it? And she is mad. Look, girl, you attacked so suddenly, you didn't even let me draw my sword. Don't get mad about me not pulling it out. And besides, can your sword even withstand mine? I have brought my main sword with me this time. Well, let's just hope for the best. What? How did you do that? You broke my sword with just one parry. Didn't you notice the difference? If you want a fair sword fight, then at least get a legendary class sword. Fine, I will retreat for now. Chapter 25, Intermission. Phew, finally lost them. Those damn guards won't give up. I think Hinata told them off, but they didn't listen to her. Anyways, let's teleport to Tempest here. No one seems to be watching. Oh, you're back, Rimuru. Yeah, it's been a few weeks. Were you behaving? Of course I was. Aside from those incidents. So you did do something while I was away. I will ask Shuna about those shenanigans later. For now, I want the security force to drive away the monsters towards the advancing army. At least that will slow them down. Oh yeah, Rimuru, I've got a problem. What is it? You see, my sister, Velzard, has invited me to come to the frozen continent where she resides. So what? Go. Wow, his expression tells me that he doesn't want to go. But you got invited, it would be rude to turn it down without a proper reason. You know I don't want to, Rimuru. Come to think of it, why did she invite Veldora in the first place? From what I remember, she usually doesn't do that. You'll be fine. What could she do to you if you behave? So if I just act like a good adult she won't do anything, huh? As if. She's your sister, you know her more than I do. Dude, are you really that opposed to visiting your own sister? She really did a number on you, huh? I mean, she used to defeat you unilaterally, so I can't really blame you if you have trauma about her. Tell me this, do you know why she invited you? Funny thing is, she just wants to talk. Hey. Weird, right? She never invites me like that. Even if she does, I always end up in trouble the moment she sees me. How bad were you before I met you, man? HMPH. Just so you know, I've grown since then. Yeah, told me that 1,000,000 times already. Well, you know you can't die unless I die, so you should go. Here, take this. I give him some clothes to wear to cheer him up. It is the same type as last time, only the difference now is it looks fancier. Kuhavaha. These clothes look good on me, don't you think? Yeah, I've designed it like the previous clothes I gave you. This time, I made some improvements. You never fail to cheer me up, Rimuru. I'll go now, you don't have to worry about me anymore. At least you are willing to go now. Don't die, CYA later. I jokingly send him off with those words, which gave me a laugh from the way he reacted to it. That's taken care of. Lord Rimuru, you're back. Welcome back. It's nice to be home. Shuna sent notice of my arrival after she gave me reports on what was going on while I was away. A couple minutes later, the rest of the executives show up. Some greeted me through telepathy, some greeted me personally. Welcome back, Lord Rimuru. How was your journey? It was great, although I've got some news from while I was there. Prepare for a meeting in a few days. In the meantime, tighten the security around Tempest. Also, send Gobta and a few goblin riders to drive away the monsters towards the west. Understood. For days later, the executive meeting concerning the advancing humans heading towards Tempest began. Let us start. First, their numbers amount to 30,000. That's a lot. Could there be more than one country responsible for this? No, from what I know, it's only one. But the extra numbers are from a demon lord support. My second statement got them riled up, but not so much as it would disturb us, just small discussions here and there. Lord Rimuru, I have finished gathering information. Really? Can you come here now? That's a given, my lord. Good news. Testarossa has finished her information gathering. I have called her here to share it with us. As I was saying this, Testarossa appeared right next to me. Only a few of them were caught off guard, the others paid attention to her in anticipation of her info. She gives me an elegant bow, then proceeded at my command. Everyone, I'm most deeply sorry it took me a while to gather this information. First, about the reason behind the army itself. A kingdom called Farmers, and their king, compiled this army with the objective of invading our country. What? How dare they? Unforgivable. As I thought, that Farmers again. Is the king really that dumb, or is Yuki just that good? Calm down, she's not even finished yet. At my words, they all hold themselves back. Yep, just held back. They didn't really calm down, I'm guessing they're still troubled. Secondly, the Farmers' army only contained 20,000. The extra people are from a faraway country, as they say. I've got a map directly from one of the commanders. He said that the army came from this direction. That's towards either Milim's territory or Clayman's. I suspect that it's from Demon Lord Clayman. I think so too. Testarossa, did you identify any men that came from Clayman? I have. It was easier than I thought, they weren't even hiding their identities. Majins were practically everywhere. Right. Rigger, how is the security team holding up? We're currently patrolling on constant loops around Tempest with 2 groups of 3 overlapping each other. Currently, the army heading towards us is nowhere near the viewing point. Good. Benimaru, are the soldiers ready for battle? Ready as we'll ever be, my lord. I look at Testarossa, hinting for her to continue. Now, as for the final information I have, it's about the church. Rumors about the church circulated among the people in the army. They say that the church was acting weird, and that the church refused to help them in this invasion. I don't know if Luminous was behind that or someone else. But that's really crucial information. The church's barrier was what caused the weakening of my subordinates in the past, causing us a lot of casualties. My men seem to be concerned about this too. Seems like they're surprised to hear the church refusing to lend a hand, even though we're all monsters here. I don't get it. Why would the church refuse to lend them help? It couldn't be because of Hinata. She only met me a few days ago, and this army had been preparing for who knows how long. There's no point in trying to figure out what they're thinking. For now, focus on defending Tempest. Roger. Testarossa, I know you're probably tired from all that work, but can you gather the other 2 and Diawolo as well? It doesn't bother me at all, my lord. I will do anything you wish. Then I'm counting on you. Yes. Everyone. This discussion is over. Go to your respective tasks and complete them before the army arrives. As you wish, Lord Rimuru. Chapter 26, Humans vs. Monsters Part 1. Long live the king! With 3 days left until they arrive at Tempest, the humans kept partying and drinking each night in order to keep their morale high. Many of them are in high spirits, due to them thinking they would win this war. But only a few of them remain skeptical. A certain party of a hero infiltrated the army. He was requested for help in order to keep an eye on the army by Rimuru. Although he remains uneasy, he and his party members play the role of spies perfectly. He was the perfect man to select for this mission. He is originally from Farmers, after all. Some soldiers even look up to him, not because of his strength, but because of who he is. His training in Tempest seemed to have played a big part in how he is now. He even tried to dissuade some soldiers from taking part in the war beforehand. Thanks to that, youngsters who originally had planned to join the army ended up not joining. Only the faces of people who were veterans of war were commonly seen here. Are you still awake? Muran? I'm still awake. I just can't help but feel bad about these poor soldiers. This is what they chose. We can't influence every single person. I hate the fact that that's true. If only I had more time. Come on, you know you did your best. You even helped a lot of those young men. Well, let's just hope that they don't regret their decision in the afterlife. Oh. Ark? Muran. What's wrong? I'm fine. Muran. The night before the war, Muran's condition is getting worse and worse by the second. She's been avoiding eye contact with Yum for the past 2 days. This would obviously alarm Yum, enough so that he contacted Rimuru for help. Lord Rimuru, I have a problem. It's about one of my closest party members, Muran. She's losing her vitality as we speak. Please, can you spare some time? Whoa, slow down there. Can you tell me this without panicking? I'm sorry, it's just, she's been avoiding me recently, ever since she started showing signs of some kind of disease. All right, I'll come there, but pick a location where the army won't notice us. Right. Thank you very much. Afterwards, Yum searched for Muran with great haste. After 20 minutes of looking for her, he found her alone, by a nearby lake. Muran. Yum, no, please, don't come close to me. Don't worry, I've asked Lord Rimuru to help you. What did you say? Hello. So, where is the patient? Lord Rimuru. Here, Muran's getting paler and paler every time I see her. Yum, can you leave the two of us alone for a bit? Understood. Let's see. Should I just get straight to the point and ask her if she's getting attacked by Clayman? Wait, no, treating her comes first at times like these. Hey, this won't hurt, but bear with it. What are you? Just like last time, I consume her puppet heart, and at the same time replace it with a pseudo-heart. There, all done. Congrats on your recovery. My heart, it's beating? This can't be. I've replaced your puppet heart with a pseudo one, so you should be able to live a normal life now. She's crying. Shit, what did I do now? Hey, calm down. I'm not doing all this for nothing, you know. While her tears are still falling from her eyes, she gets nervous about what words are going to come out of my mouth next. Relax, I'm not one of those people who asks for heavy compensation. All I want to know is, were you planning on hurting my people? I was. I don't expect to be spared. You can dispose of me in any way you like. Oh, quite honest, are we? Well, I know you didn't really have a choice. So I'll forgive you. Just spill some beans for me, will ya? Spill what? About Clayman. Immediately, her expression shows that she's willing to do so, even more so when I took a recording crystal out of imaginary space. Quite a woman Yum's got here. First off, can you confirm that Clayman sent you to cause chaos in my town? Yes. I, Muran, one of Clayman's 5 fingers, declare that I indeed have been ordered to cause extreme chaos by Clayman. Great, that's all I wanted to hear. You are free now. With that, Rimuru left Muran, who was currently in a state of shock and bewilderment. She starts to cry out loud. Hearing this, Yum starts to approach, only to find Muran crying her eyes out while he hugs her. Thus, they prepare for the battle that's about to begin tomorrow. A few soldiers run at the town, preparing to declare war on the uninformed citizens. However, as they enter, they almost immediately notice something off. Neither human nor monster was seen in the town. They hesitated to enter, thinking it was odd. But their superior ran at the town himself, there was no room for them to hesitate. Shortly after entering town, they feel extremely tired. Then, one by one, armed monsters came out. The monsters easily capture the soldiers who remain on the ground. Most of them cower in fear while some try to resist. The commanding officer took notice of the squad that was sent to declare war. Not one has come back. As he looks to check, he sees absolutely nothing. No soldiers, no monsters, not even the ones that he sent. He immediately warns the soldiers, telling them that something has gone wrong. At that moment, each and every single soldier stands up, ready to fight. The commander then checks again, the town is still completely empty. He sent a messenger to the king, with the contents being, "Please be on your guard, your majesty," written on it. Tension piles up from the missing soldiers. The remaining frontline soldiers grew nervous, afraid that something had happened to them. Only the commander knew the entire situation. Him failing to tell his men was a crucial mistake in this war. He quickly sends 2 more squads to the town. This time, he observes them. As soon as the first squad goes in, they immediately disappear right after. The second squad is in great confusion. He could not tell from this distance what they were saying. As he was about to signal them back, suddenly, arms appearing out of nowhere drag the soldiers into the town. This is the point where he decides to tell his men, but only to find them fighting each other. One by one, each soldier cuts down his own comrade. After a few minutes, a large barrier capable of encircling them in its radius starts to weaken them significantly. And as if coming straight from hell, a 2-horned, red-haired man, along with 100 men, appears outside their vicinity. The red-haired man commands his 100 men to attack, with the tone of a great general capable of leading them through any battle. They attack the soldiers who are in great despair, slowly but swiftly decimating their numbers. 3,000 soldiers versus 100 men, who would have thought that this would be the way it occurs? Scared to the brink of death, the human commander gets his horse, riding towards the direction of the main army. He looks back, only to see the red-haired man stare at him as if his prey. He loses his balance on his horse, injuring his leg in the process. He looks up to the sky, only for his vision to be blocked by that very same man that was glaring at him. He pees his pants as fear has taken over every other sense he has. No. Please. Don't kill me. His high-pitched voice sounds almost pathetic as he begs for mercy. Answer me, why did you decide to attack our town? I don't know. I see, but let me tell you this, you have angered my lord for ever even thinking of invading his country. You people are so damn greedy, you don't know how hard we worked on just keeping him from destroying all of you himself. That's right. Although Rimuru talked to his subordinates beforehand, they noticed how much he was greatly holding himself back. Most, if not all of them, noticed this immediately, angering most of them in the process. If Shun were the one to have been in charge here, I highly doubt you would even have the time to think. Out of all of them, Shun was the one who was composing herself the least. But most of all, if Diawolo were also present, even Benimaru couldn't imagine their fate. So let's just say, you're lucky you met me for the last moments of your life. Benimaru's aura alone finished him off. He was in a weak state, so a powerful aura like Benimaru's would kill him off. Benimaru looks up to the sky, thinking of what the others are up to right now. Listen up. Those who are still alive, capture them all. Do not let a single human escape. Understood? Chapter 27, Humans vs. Monsters Part 2. What do you mean the main vanguard disappeared? It is exactly as it sounds, my king. When we went to the place where they had been stationed, they were nowhere to be seen. We also found a dead messenger. According to the letter found on the body, it seems they were attacked. Impossible. There is no way they could have known we were attacking. The king wondered in bewilderment and shock as to how the monsters could have possibly known he was invading their nation. Before he could reach a conclusion, his confidant brought up another issue that had been bugging him. And your majesty, there is something very concerning written in this letter. What is it? Well, I don't know if. Just tell me already. The confidant hesitantly read the words written on the letter. His anxiety was written all over his face, yet the king decided to ignore it and urged him to continue. Greetings, King of Farmers. I am Rimuru Tempest, the king of this nation. As you may have already realized, I have completely wiped out your entire vanguard. As the confidant was reading, the paper suddenly glowed, projecting a holographic image of a beautiful maiden. This caused the king to smirk, though no one else knew what he was thinking at the time. Then, the projected maiden began to move, looking directly at the king himself. She opened her mouth and spoke, catching every single person off guard, except for a nearby knight and the king. Greetings, King Edmaris. My name is Rimuru Tempest, the ruler of these monsters. Greetings. I would have liked for us to meet personally, but I guess this will have to do. Same here, but our current circumstances really prevent that from happening. We can start our talks here. I will start us off. First, I would like you to hand your entire nation over to me. Hearing the king's absurd request, even the knight next to him, who had been completely calm and composed earlier, turned to look at the king with a stupefied expression. I am afraid I cannot do that. I don't want my people to suffer, after all. As if completely ignoring the king's words, the maiden laughed and responded in a beautifully calm voice. Some of the men present even felt like they were in the presence of a goddess. Quite a stubborn one, aren't you? Then let me change the terms a little bit. I want you instead. The king looked at the maiden with intense greed in his eyes. However, the maiden suddenly started to laugh uncontrollably. Then, her eyes turned a piercing red, her expression darkened, and with a cold, terrifying voice, she uttered words that would later shake the entire army. Pathetic. If you want to take Lord Rimuru, then I suggest you better prepare your funeral immediately. The dark maiden emitted a powerful aura, causing most of the guards to pass out almost instantly. Even the strong knight was barely conscious, and the king collapsed to his knees. Curse you! Don't you ever dare tamper with my master's heart! Then, as if this very conversation had been timed perfectly, a messenger from the second vanguard burst into the tent with a desperate expression. Emergency! The second vanguard is under attack. He pulled back the curtains only to find his king on the ground, and the elite guards inside passed out, foaming at the mouth. The messenger immediately yelled for help, drawing the attention of many nearby soldiers. Unknown to them, the war had already turned completely against their favor. Hey, old man, when are we attacking? When the king says so. But that is taking way too long. Shut it, Shogo. You just need to have some patience. Yeah, right. Even your face says that you are getting impatient as well. Even so, attacking that place without explicit orders is strictly prohibited. So what? We have got a massive number of men here thanks to that army that joined us a while ago. We can easily take those puny monsters on. I said no, damn it. Listen here, even monsters have incredibly powerful individuals among them. The master of these monsters is still out there. That is right, Shogo. We have got plenty of time to prepare. Kyoya, well, that might be how you feel, but I just want to start killing those monsters. Can't you just do that right now? No, not unless this old man lets me, Kirara. Suddenly, a scout rushed into the camp. Emergency! 6 individuals are heading this way. Presumably the monsters from the town. Shogo grinned. Never mind, looks like we have got some prey. Shogo, don't go too overboard. Human soldiers tried to intercept the advancing enemy, only to be ruthlessly cut down the absolute moment they got within range. Shun, Geld, Hakuro, Gobta, Riga, and Ronga. These were the 6 individuals Rimuru sent to intercept the forces here. With a fierce, overwhelming aura, they cut down every opposing enemy in their path. Each and every one of them was taking out large numbers of soldiers the closer they got to the main camp. Shogo and his companion smiled evilly, drawing their weapons and charging forward with dark thoughts. The 3 of them confronted the group, completely underestimating Shun and the others. From afar, it looked like the monsters were just cutting down common soldiers who got too close. But up close, the otherworldly trio regretted their thoughts immediately. Not only were the monsters emitting an incredibly intimidating aura, but their eyes looked at the humans as if they had committed a grave, unforgivable sin. Shun made direct eye contact with Shogo. Shogo immediately launched a heavy attack at her, which she casually parried with a single movement. What? How did you parry that attack? Excuse me? Did you say something? It was at this exact moment that Shogo felt a sudden wave of genuine fear. He was considered to be one of the strongest human weapons in the entire army. For his attack to fail so effortlessly showed how much of an insignificant bug he was compared to the enemy standing before him. Kirara! Help me! He turned around to look at her, only to find her neck firmly gripped inside Ronga's massive jaws. Shogo, help me. Ronga immediately finished her off, snapping her neck instantly. This brutal scene was more than enough to cause Shogo to completely despair. He immediately turned toward Kyoya, desperately hoping he was still alive. However, he didn't even get to see him. The moment he turned back toward Shun, Kyoya's severed head came flying across his side view. Is this it? That was fairly short, although the main target has still not been captured. Shun Dono, I believe Lord Rimuru told us our target was an old mage. Judging from the magicule concentrations around here, that large tent seems to have a lot of power inside. Good eye, Geld. With this, Lord Rimuru will be a little bit happier. Indeed. Gobta has been a little distracted in training ever since Lord Rimuru's arrival. Hey! I was just disturbed hearing about Lord Rimuru's condition. Hakuro chuckled. Well, you have been improving, so I guess I could just leave you here with a few hundred human soldiers all to yourself. What? That is total overkill, old man. Do you want me to increase it tenfold? No. I am sorry. In any case, Shun interrupted, Hakuro, Geld, you two go capture that old mage. Me and Ronga will head directly towards the main army. Roger that. Gobta muttered under his breath, wait, since when could Shun give us orders? Shun glared back. Is something the matter, Gobta? Nothing at all. Rigger laughed. You are pathetic, man. Shut it, Rigger. Chapter 28, Humans vs. Monsters Part 3. In a separate, isolated dimension sat a solitary figure. This figure oversaw the war as it played out, staring out into the nothingness to look upon the outside world. He possessed glowing golden eyes that preyed upon the unlucky soldiers who dared oppose him. Sitting comfortably on a throne fit for a true king, he thought deeply to himself. Everything is going well. Benimaru did a great job at eliminating those soldiers. Shun and the others have displayed great results too. But Sile's voice echoed in his mind, warning him that a powerful individual had slipped into the army, and this person was certainly not one of his subordinates. I can tell that. And something is telling me that if I don't take care of that person first, it will cost me a great sacrifice. The figure leaned back into his throne with a serious expression. His magnificent appearance was something many would wish to paint. Sile spoke again, informing him that Veldora seemed to have returned and was requesting to meet with him. He is back already? I expected him to stay away for at least 2 weeks. Maybe he got too scared. Appearing out of thin air, a tall man with tanned skin and golden hair walked confidently towards Rimuru. I'm back. That was extremely harsh of you to hide the entire town. I did have my reasons for hiding it, one major reason being the protection of our citizens. No one could enter my imaginary space without my explicit permission, making it the safest place I could possibly hide them. Another reason was because of a specific individual currently standing right inside the king's main army. I wanted to hide the town because of that person. I pointed directly at the individual appearing on the magical screen in front of us. Who is that? Look closely, you idiot. It honestly surprised me how he didn't recognize this person at first glance. He had even destroyed this person's entire country once in the past. I am extremely sorry about that, Luminous. Ah. Is she that girl whose country I accidentally destroyed a couple of centuries ago? Yeah, Luminous, remember? You have got to start paying attention to things like this more often. Well, it's just, my sister, she made me forget a couple of things with her aggressive version of pampering. You are forgiven. Sile interrupted my thoughts, announcing that Benimaru and Shun were about to engage in combat with the main human army. Looks like it's almost time. I don't mind Luminous being there. Why? Even though she might technically be strong enough to kill Benimaru and the others? It's simple. Those bodies they are using right now are not their real ones. They are pseudo-bodies that I custom-designed using Magisoldia components. It took absolutely ages to let Shen decide on her physical appearance, so I just replicated their original bodies instead. Their unique skills are more than enough to pilot those vessels around, and I would guess the bodies sit around an A-rank performance level. They are quite weak compared to their normal strengths, but this should do the job perfectly. Even Rigger sits at an A-rank performance level thanks to the shell. But skill is a massive factor too, which is obvious because Benimaru, Shen, and Rongo are completely dominating the enemies compared to the rest. The monsters attacked, catching the human soldiers completely off guard. Benimaru and his men utterly dominated the right flank of the enemy forces, while Shen intercepted them from the north. Rongo quickly enclosed them from the south. Since the humans were just resting, they didn't have anything resembling a proper battle formation. Seeing a direct, three-way ambush immediately cornered them. Benimaru's forces rapidly decreased the numbers of the human army, reducing the previous 25,000 men to 20,000 in a very short amount of time. Suddenly, a powerful holy barrier enclosed the entire area, one specifically designed to weaken those with monster or demon attributes. Looks like Luminous is finally making her move. StaciaPLE, prepare to intervene the moment you separate my subordinates' minds from the area. StaciaPLE responded instantly, successfully separating the consciousness of the executives from their pseudo-bodies and transferring them back safely. What? Where did those monsters go? I don't know, my king. They just vanished into thin air. A hooded figure listened quietly as the king and his panicked attendants discussed the sudden disappearance of the monsters. This hooded figure was also deeply confused, wondering what could have possibly happened to them. Did my barrier kill them? No, that is highly unlikely. Before they vanished, I swear I saw every single one of them grin like the monsters they were. She tried to put everything she saw together, only to feel a sudden, freezing chill run down her spine as she noticed a massive formation of energy materializing dead center in the middle of the camp. Calm and composed, she decided to check out the source of this heavy uneasiness. What she saw absolutely shook her. A beautiful maiden clad in elegant black clothes. Golden eyes that looked capable of seeing through absolutely everything, and a powerful sword that looked like it could easily surpass her own. More importantly, she felt an overwhelming instinct that this individual was not to be messed with under any circumstances. She wasn't even sure if she could beat such an individual. She only remained calm so that this person wouldn't notice her. No, perhaps she had already been found out the very moment she decided to infiltrate the army. Could this person be? The entire reason for her infiltrating this army in the first place traced back to a report from a few days ago. Lumina-sama. I have something important to report. Oh? Tell me. You are unusually hesitant, Hinata. Is it something big? Yes. There is a monster who has been disguising itself as a human. I went and confronted it once it was outside the city, and it almost escaped. Luckily, I managed to get a hold of it before it went too far. So? What is the big deal? Was this monster perhaps exceptionally strong? More powerful than I expected, actually. I was the one who first drew my sword, but it easily evaded every single strike. It even parried some of my attacks with its bare hands. Luminous began to listen much more intently. There was someone capable of holding their own against Hinata that she was completely unaware of. At least, from Hinata's perspective. Then, it finally drew its own sword, and it sliced mine completely in half in mere seconds after drawing it. I felt an overwhelming difference in quality between our swords from the moment it started to swing at me. Luminous became completely serious. Hinata was her most powerful holy knight, and she knew exactly how strong Hinata truly was. So, knowing that a monster could overwhelm her premier knight like that spelled absolute chaos. Truth be told, she already suspected who this person was. But the events explained to her were completely off from the prophesies. The records didn't say that Hinata would lose so horribly on their very first encounter. There was not even the slightest mention of this overwhelming victory against her. She knew she had to check this person out for herself, which is exactly why she was standing here right now. She was completely in awe, staring at this divine being floating effortlessly above them. First and foremost, no mercy." With those words, the human soldiers all around the camp disappeared instantly. Not a single one could be seen. Even the dead ones were completely gone, and the bloodstains vanished from the ground as if they had never been there in the first place. Only two individuals remained standing, Luminous and the king. Rimuru looked down toward Luminous, who was still frantically trying to find a single trace of the army. "Luminous-san, I trust that you know exactly who I am? Could you please dispel this barrier?" "I can." "That would be great. Now, if you will excuse me, I have some urgent business to settle with a foolish king." Just like that, Luminous dispelled the holy barrier as Rimuru walked right past her. She unconsciously waited for Rimuru to return, deeply curious about who he truly was. The war between the monsters and humans ended right then and there. And although it wasn't a battle fit for conventional human history books, it certainly caught the attention of many future historians. Chapter 29, Prisoner of War. It's a good thing Luminous isn't hostile towards me. She is staying vigilant, and it looks like she is waiting for me outside. Does she want to talk to me? Well, I will gladly talk to her right after I capture this king, who is currently blabbering in front of me. Do you hear me? How dare you ignore me? I hear you, I spoke, in a freezing, cold tone. I am a king. You should mind your manners. Even StaciaPLE was getting incredibly impatient in my mind. She had been acting irritated ever since we suddenly lost contact with the magical projector I gave the king through that letter. So what? I am also a king, for your information. Even so. I am a human king, while you are just a king of filthy monsters. I released a small fraction of my true dragon spirit aura, locking him completely stiff in his movements. You should be the one minding your manners. I really don't care if you badmouth me personally, but talk about my people like that, and I will personally give you a permanent vacation in hell. Since I am already here, why don't we have an official talk? And no, you cannot say no. Considering I have already wiped out your entire army. A talk, who? Sure, why not? He suddenly smiled with a gluttonous look, which was quite disgusting if you ask me. My current appearance might fool people, but I am still a middle-aged man on the inside. Hell, I highly doubt any of my subordinates would even recognize me if they met my original human self, Satoru. StaciaPLE immediately corrected me in my mind, stating that no matter what form I might take, everyone would immediately recognize their master. Wow, my mood actually improved a bit thanks to that. That aside, this human king continued to lock his eyes onto me like a creepy predator. Then I would like to ask you, who exactly gave you information about my city? Of course, I wasn't asking about the public information I intentionally leaked out. I am sure he had heard a few rumors about our nation. But just in case. Hell if I know. It was a cloaked man that first appeared before my ministers. He was actually giving me direct answers, but I really wanted him to take this seriously. He was giving off completely the wrong vibe. Then. Hold on, don't I get to ask a question this time? I gave a simple nod and a sigh. Then, why exactly are you raising filthy monsters? His smile turned pure evil as he spoke, and I could feel his dark intentions radiating off him. StaciaPLE spoke up in my mind, requesting to handle the talking this time. Go right ahead, I don't see a problem with that. Using my mouth, StaciaPLE spoke. Filthy monsters, you say? Does it truly seem that way to you? Then by your own definition, I am filthy too, correct? Right, but why would such a beautiful gibberish? That is exactly what your half-baked words translate to in my ears, human. That's odd, why is she speaking with so much attitude? StaciaPLE, I know you are in a bad mood, but attacking my country, making an absolute fool out of us, those are crimes that will never go unpunished. Well, this is getting a bit awkward. I originally wanted to apprehend him with as little violence as possible. But it seems StaciaPLE checked my memories of the alternate past, and let's just say she reacted exactly how I did back then. Foolish human king, you are a prisoner of war. And yet you have the absolute nerve to eye my master's body like that. Do you even realize your own position? Amidst Sile's pure rage, the king completely collapsed to the floor due to the sheer pressure of the aura she released. Thank God I set up an isolated barrier beforehand, because I don't want him dying that easily. Shen has got to have her interrogation practice, after all. You went a little overboard there. Sile bluntly replied that she did not regret it at all. Damn, what a sassy response. I think Sile is getting more and more human by the day. In any case, the king was successfully captured. Benimaru managed to capture a few surviving soldiers too, most of them originating from Clayman's hidden army. All in all, 0 casualties were caused on our side this time. I am glad it worked out so well. Hey, sorry to keep you waiting. Not at all. It was highly entertaining seeing that human shrieking like a pig. It gave me quite a laugh. Ha ha ha, it is nice to see you are not hostile towards me. Then, in a very low voice, she whispered as if she was still in utter disbelief. How could I ever show hostile intentions to someone as monstrously powerful as you? What was that? I didn't quite hear you. What did you say? Nothing. Just talking to myself. Come to think of it, why did she wait out here for me? I just brushed it off in my mind assuming she wanted to chat, but I could be wrong. Then, may I ask what your true purpose is in visiting my country? I was curious about you. I honestly didn't pay much attention to the world after Cronoa was sealed. But as it turns out, you are quite the character, aren't you? I guess. But what Chloe described to you might be a little bit off. I couldn't say for sure if Chloe accurately remembered the specific timeline where the current version of me first reincarnated. According to Sile, I was forcefully sent back in time. I am not entirely certain whether this messed with Chloe's time-traveling loop. But since Luminous was standing right here, I could confirm all of that by asking her what Chloe had told her. So you really do know Chloe? Well, I am just glad you didn't decide to permanently injure Hinata when she fought you. Since you are clearly far stronger than what Chloe originally described. About that, could we perhaps discuss this in full detail? You might not like this, but Veldora is currently staying at my nation right now. She clearly hesitated. She hated Veldora more than anyone else on this entire planet. If you don't want to go, I completely understand. I'll go. Besides, I will gladly give that oversized lizard a taste of my wrath the moment I see him. Ha ha, that would be quite hilarious in itself. Feel free to do whatever you want, you have my full support. You seem to know Veldora remarkably well. Did you somehow tame him? Well, me and Veldora are actually pretty good friends, but he definitely deserves a good scolding once in a while. So, feel free to do whatever you like to him. Luminous looked at Rimuru with wide eyes, showing a clear hint of genuine admiration towards him. She smiled, purely because of Rimuru's easygoing nature, nothing more, nothing less. Well, let me introduce you to my country. Give me 1 second. I still had the entire city of Tempest stored safely inside my imaginary space, and I hoped the citizens weren't getting too uncomfortable in there. Sile, release Tempest from imaginary space. Also, place the Human King and the rest of the prisoners directly into Tempest's maximum security cells. Make sure to teleport Rigger and the security team along with them. Well, let me introduce myself formally. My name is Rimuru Tempest. It is truly nice to meet you. Same here. Luminous Valentine. It is my absolute pleasure to be in your care. Now then, let me be your personal guide. Welcome to Tempest. Chapter 30, Post-War Celebrations. Shortly after releasing Tempest back into the physical world, Veldora came rushing over to greet us with an incredibly proud look on his face. See? Didn't I tell you everything would be completely fine, Rimuru? Veldora, completely failing to notice Luminous standing right there, got immediately blindsided as Luminous grabbed him and began squeezing him to death. Just like last time, Veldora's distorted facial expression showed exactly how much pain he was enduring. He made desperate eye contact with me, pleading for my help, but I just completely brushed it off by playing dumb and looking away. Once Luminous finally let him go, Veldora flopped headfirst onto the dirt, making a loud banging sound. Luminous' mood looked drastically more relaxed now. Great, now I can finally show her around properly. Would you like to look around? Yes, that would be most exciting. Plus, seeing that overgrown lizard in such a pathetic state gives me immense joy. Well, we are still in the middle of preparing for the post-war festival, but I can at least show you around the main town. Rimuru showed Luminous around the city for quite a while. The only thing keeping Luminous completely occupied most of the time was the sheer variety of different foods. She had never seen any of these dishes in her entire lifetime. She spent a massive amount of time savoring every single food item each time they walked into a different stall. Soon, Shuna had to join in because Rimuru was having a ton of trouble keeping up with her endless appetite. Using thought transmission, Rimuru spoke to her. Thanks for the help, Shuna. I was seriously beginning to run out of stores to show her, so you stepping in to cook for her really saved my life. It was really nothing, Lord Rimuru. This is my exact area of expertise, after all. So, Luminous, will you be staying at Tempest for a couple of days? We are planning on holding a massive, long-term festival. Sure. It's not like I have anything urgent to do immediately back home, and Walpurgis is coming up very soon anyway. Yeah, I will also be attending that meeting. Oh? Did someone actually invite you? Yeah, they kept pestering me about officially becoming a demon lord. So I thought, why not? Luminous went into deep thought, wondering which of the demon lords could have possibly invited Rimuru. Eventually, she gave up on trying to figure it out and decided to put the matter aside for the time being. She couldn't afford to ruin her fantastic mood at a nice time like this. You know, becoming a demon lord in name is not nearly as easy as it sounds. I know. It's something about proving my strength according to your established rules, right? I have already got a perfect plan in mind, so you don't have to worry about that at all. I see. Then I heavily look forward to seeing you play your own tune at Walpurgis. It might be highly entertaining watching the others dance to it. Ha ha ha. That's a good one. Well, are you going to be disguising yourself as an attendant again, or? Since a powerful new face will be attending, I might as well stop hiding entirely. Almost everyone knows who I am anyway. As the grand festival officially kicked off, the entire town began loudly singing Rimuru's praises, which caused Rimuru to get incredibly embarrassed, of course. He was still trying to maintain a conversation with Luminous while the crowd cheered. With every single citizen laughing and dancing in perfect harmony, Rimuru took the time to congratulate his men. During the second night of the festival, he called all of his executives together under the guise of an official meeting. But in reality, this was just a cover for Rimuru to give his executives their personal rewards. Rimuru officially granted them their previous evolutionary powers, each and every single one of them, using his specialized skill gifting. He carefully prepared the unique skills each of his subordinates would have naturally acquired when he originally evolved into a true demon lord. Since he was already far beyond a standard demon lord, the generic benefits that came with the evolution weren't applicable to him. Hence, he manually gave them the powers they deserved himself, with Sile's direct assistance, of course. Everyone, spectacular job! The war was an absolute success. Cheers! The room erupted. Cheers! Lord Rimuru, thank you so much for gifting us these wonderful powers. We promise to live up to your high expectations with our absolute best. As do we all, Lord Rimuru. You have not only protected us, you even shared your own divine power with us. We really can't do anything else but offer you our absolute devotion for all of eternity. Geld stepped forward hesitantly. My lord, I am afraid I haven't done anything significant enough to deserve this level of power. Relax, just take what I give you. The very powers I handed to you all were born from the potential inside each and every one of you. So, if you feel like you aren't worthy right now, just pay me back by continuing to do exactly what you have been doing until now. Lord Rimuru is the absolute best. Even our Lord says so, then I must do my utmost best. I, Geld, will protect this town to the absolute end. Benimaru laughed, patting him on the back. We all will, Geld. But for now, let's just drink this high-quality sake and give 3 cheers to our Lord. Sorry to keep you waiting, Luminous. Those guys can get a little bit weird sometimes. I can clearly see that. You must be far more of a capable leader than I initially thought. Please, that is not true. In the past, I used to make massive mistakes all the time. Yeah, all the damn time, if I say so myself. I even caused the tragic deaths of hundreds of my own civilians in an alternate timeline because of my stupid naivety. Mistakes are a given. You just have to make absolute sure you don't repeat them next time. That aside, should I ask about what Chloe's current condition is right now? She is doing completely fine. Someone I trust implicitly is taking care of her right now. That is good to hear. I still couldn't believe it at first when she told me she was going to travel to the future. Now that we are on that topic, let us discuss the finer details, shall we? I would like that very much. Then, may I know why the events from recently did not match up according to her exact words? That's a tricky question. First, let me explain exactly how I know about all of this in the first place. Rimuru carefully explained that he had been sent back in time, stating that he knew all of this because, in that previous timeline, Chloe had already woken up and explained the entire situation to him. He then explained his working theory to Luminous, saying that Chloe's personal time loop might have not been affected by this sudden reset. Since Rimuru was forcefully sent back in time rather than being killed, the alternate timeline history had shifted. The only known catalyst for the activation of her automatic time warp was either Hinata's death or his own. But he was completely certain that neither of those events had happened this time, so Rimuru figured Chloe might actually be completely ignorant of the previous timeline's events. But he couldn't confirm any of this for sure until he talked to Chloe personally. That is, far more complicated than what I expected. Luminous could barely comprehend the physics of what Rimuru had just explained, so she only memorized the basic gist of it. Maybe that is why Chloe's predictions were off. Actually, in the previous timeline she described, this event also played out differently. What? Did Chloe perhaps say that I was going to confront Hinata without ever becoming a demon lord? Yes. She explicitly said that you tied with Hinata on your second battle, but she made absolutely no mention of you becoming a true demon lord. In the previous timeline, I evolved into an awakened demon lord much later. You must have been incredibly surprised to find out that what she said was becoming inaccurate. Much to my disbelief, yes. I guess what you are saying is starting to make logical sense. But it looks like we won't be having any more time to talk to ourselves. Is it time? Or are we just getting picked up much earlier than I expected? It is definitely much earlier than we anticipated. Rimuru and Luminous were both staring directly at the spatial gate, but it wasn't fully open yet, so they decided to prepare for the time being. Luminous quickly contacted her holy subordinates, while Rimuru prepared Shuna and Shun. He was bringing Shuna along with Shun instead of Ronga this time, because he wanted Ronga and the rest of the executives to stay behind and guard the town. Rimuru did not notice Clayman's army anywhere nearby, but just in case of a surprise attack, he left Ronga behind as the primary defense. The next day, the massive spatial gate officially opened. Stepping out of the portal were 2 girls dressed in elegant maid outfits. One possessed vibrant blue hair, while the other had green hair. They were primordial demons, Rain and Mizari. Greetings, Lady Valentine. Greetings to you too. Then, I shall go on ahead first, Rimuru. Rimuru gave her a simple nod. Turning to face him, the maid spoke in unison. Lord Rimuru, Lord Guy wants you to enter the gate at a specific time. Lord Guy requests that the both of you arrive at the venue at the exact same moment. He does? Well, a little wait wouldn't be so bad. Just tell me when I should step through, I will be waiting right here. Understood. Mizari stepped back into the portal, while Rain stayed behind to monitor the time. The grand day of Walpurgis had finally come. The entire fate of the future of the Demon Lords resided entirely within this one fateful meeting. Chapter 31, Demon Lords Debut Part 1. Walpurgis. A banquet between the Demon Lords. Currently, there are 10 known Demon Lords in existence. The mere gathering of these all-powerful beings is enough to strike absolute terror into the hearts of humanity each and every time it is held. As the banquet proceeds, human society completely silences itself, and ongoing wars are temporarily halted. Nations across the world scramble to plan defensive measures, since this is an incredibly dangerous time for them. After all, a single demon lord could easily plan humanity's absolute downfall. But fortunately, that has never happened. Humanity's survival is constantly monitored. That is exactly why foolish individuals always die before they can ever succeed. This particular Walpurgis is special. It was called by Guy, one of the most ancient and primordial demon lords. Absence from this meeting could lead to severe consequences. Therefore, every single demon lord attended with utmost haste. Am I first? Yeah. All right. The first arrival was Milim, who is also one of the most ancient demon lords, alongside Rimuru and Guy. So loud. Keep it down. What? How come you are here first, Dino? Dino, who was just sleeping as if he were in his own home, turned around to answer. He was so incredibly relaxed that he practically blended in with the furniture. I am just here early so I can sleep before you guys arrive. Oh man, there goes being first. Ha ha, it is all right, Milim. Dino is just here because Guy called for this Walpurgis. He is just scared of Guy. A giant named Degrul comforted Milim so as to not let her mood worsen. Dino simply ignored them, continuing to laze around in a comfortable sleeping position. One by one, the rest of the demon lords began to arrive. Milim! I got a new servant! Rimuru instantly boasted about Beretta. What? Since when? Rimuru gave him to me. Rimuru did. What? How? Well, I did him a favor and helped him summon a few spirits and Voila. He gave me a subordinate. Milim clenched her teeth in absolute defeat, while Rimuru continued with her smug charade. Luminous entered the room, which deeply surprised some of those present. She usually made her subordinate attend on her behalf, so seeing her here in person was quite odd. Who? Luminous, where is Roy? That is the person you assigned to attend, right? I have relieved him of his duties. I will be attending myself from now on. Did something happen? That is of no concern to you, Milim. Fry, Carrion, and Clayman arrived next. Clayman looked incredibly anxious. It was glaringly obvious to the other demon lords that something was troubling him deeply. Leon followed shortly after, casually taking his seat and sitting down with very little attention. All that was left to arrive was Guy. The room fell into pure silence as they waited for his entrance. Then, the large doors opened. Guy entered the room, but he wasn't by himself. He was accompanied by Rimuru. Guy apologized for the wait and took his seat, and Rimuru followed suit, sitting down calmly. Some of the demon lords wondered who this newcomer could possibly be. Guy quickly addressed the matter, officially starting the meeting. Everyone, I am sure that you are all confused, so I will explain some details. Let's start with the reason why I called this Walpurgis. Guy directed his gaze straight towards Rimuru. There is someone who I wanted to join us, and I was a bit impatient, so Walpurgis happened. You can probably guess who that someone is. All the demon lords shifted their gaze to Rimuru, making him feel a bit uncomfortable. The ones who didn't know Rimuru very well began to secretly analyze him. At that moment, Sile was utilizing Guy's very own tactics, intentionally sending out only a small portion of Rimuru's true power. The exact status StaciaPLE allowed to show was only 365,156. This immediately led some of the demon lords to underestimate Rimuru. Guy grinned deeply, snickering at the fact that Rimuru was shamelessly stealing his tactics. Clayman, in particular, looked immensely relieved. He even began to smile confidently, exactly like how he used to before. Since all of you seem to have an opinion about him, why don't we cut to the chase? I want him to become a demon lord. Raise your hands if you agree. 6 demon lords immediately raised their hands: Guy, Milim, Ramiris, Luminous, De Gruul, and Carrion. The vast majority was in favor of Rimuru joining their ranks. Do you object to this, Leon? Leon did not flinch when asked by Guy. Instead, he simply shrugged his shoulders. Do what you want. Then that makes 7. How about you guys, care to explain? He is powerful, but he is about the same level as me, Clayman, and Carrion. That is right. How could such a weak person enter our ranks? Those who had agreed to Rimuru's ascension stared right back at Clayman with absolute disbelief. Rimuru, who had been completely quiet up until now, finally spoke up. Then should I prove my strength? If you have insecurities, feel free to test me. Rimuru locked his eyes onto Clayman, focusing his entire, suffocating bloodlust directly onto him. But Clayman stood there arrogantly. He had belittled Rimuru far too much. Oh ho? Then does that mean you want to challenge me? Sure, why not? I will kill you for your seat. I have got some major grudges to settle with you anyway. TCH. I will make you regret looking down on me. Too slow, this guy is way too easy to kill for me the way I am now. But if I kill him just like that, some of them will probably find it boring. The way Milim is eyeing me now seems like she wants to fight me next. Yep. I'll just turn Clayman into an entertainment item. Here, let's grab his head, then twist it just like this. What? ARGH. Next is to yeet him like a ball. Let's make this a game, shall we? If he touches anything on the ground, I lose. Rimuru kicked Clayman around the room, displaying simply amazing speed. Clayman was kept continuously in the air, not even touching the ground a single time, as Rimuru kicked him a fair distance away with every single strike. The mere display of raw skill was enough to wake even Dino up, his eyes widening in complete shock. Rimuru finally stopped, grabbing Clayman by the neck and casually untwisting his head back into place. Milim laughed out loud, so much so that even Guy started chuckling. What's wrong? Have you had enough yet? Clayman was barely conscious. Thanks to Rimuru actively healing him, he survived, because with just one of those enhanced kicks, he would have easily died. Last time, I used thought acceleration 1 million times on you, didn't I? How about I do that again, but this time, we do it at 100 million times. Let's see how well you take that. If I do any more, you are gonna die anyway. Might as well deliver the finishing blow now. Rimuru activated thought acceleration on Clayman, then punched him lightly with enhanced capabilities specifically designed to destroy his soul. Wait. Rimuru landed the blow on Clayman. For the onlookers, it only lasted for a single second. But for Clayman, it felt like a seemingly endless amount of torment. His soul completely shattered within the first few days of the perceived thought acceleration. With barely a second passing in the real world, Clayman's physical body completely disappeared. But for Clayman, his eternal torment was still not over. He couldn't even land a single strike on Rimuru, he was completely, one-sidedly murdered. This sequence deeply scared some of the demon lords. Fry immediately regretted not raising her hand, frantically thinking that she might be next. But before Fry's mind could spiral into total fear, Guy loudly announced Rimuru's absolute success. Wonderful! Now, does anyone have any objections? All the demon lords shook their heads, indicating they had absolutely none. Carrion was feeling immensely proud of himself, probably for the first time in his life, simply by raising a single hand. Out of all the demon lords present, only a few managed to actually catch up with what had truly happened to Clayman. Then it's official. Rimuru has been approved to use the title of Demon Lord. Chapter 32, Demon Lord's Debut Part 2. After Rimuru's resounding success in securing a seat in what would become the Octagram, Guy finally decided to tell everyone his real intentions. "Can I say something?" The one who spoke up first was none other than Fry. "Go ahead," Guy confirmed, allowing Fry the full freedom to speak her mind. "I've had this thought for a while now, and I want to say this now more than ever. I've been thinking of stepping down as a demon lord. My reason being that I now know the overwhelming difference in strength between us. Although some of the ancient demon lords showed pure indifference, a few people were visibly shocked by her sudden retirement." "What? Fry, why back out now?" Carrion, completely unable to accept this, spoke up in a loud, boisterous manner. "I already stated my reason just now." "Well, if that's how you want to play it, fine. I'll step down as well." It seemed that Carrion wanted to step down too, eagerly using Fry's excuse as his own. "Well, if you want to, I can't stop you," Guy expressed calmly, as Fry sighed in immense relief. "How this is going down is going to end up different from what I originally knew. Of course, that was completely inevitable, but at least I wanted to secure the future where Fry and Carrion serve under Milim. So, I prepared the necessary measures to ensure that happens in advance. Earlier, when I was waiting for Guy, I contacted Milim via thought transmission. Milim, do you mind if we talk right now?" "Rimuru? Oh boy, I'm bored as well, let's talk." Milim sounded incredibly excited, meaning I could proceed with my plan without any worries. "I've got a favor to ask of you, is that okay?" "I'll do anything you want. You are my bestie after all." "I'm happy to hear that. Then, could you please take Fry and Carrion under you as your subordinates?" "What? I'm not entirely sure I can do that." "Relax, I'll be setting up some measures to ensure a 100% rate of success." "Oh. Wahahaha. If that's the case, then go right ahead. But Rimuru, what do I do once I take them in?" "They can help you with managing your massive territory, stuff like that. But don't think about it too much right now, things will naturally sort themselves out when the time comes." "Wahahaha. All right, I look forward to it." Just as I was about to close the thought communication, Milim suddenly shouted, as if she had just recalled something incredible. I suddenly got extreme goosebumps, though I didn't know why. "Rimuru, can I ask you for one thing in return?" "Sure." I was hesitant, not because I was overly cautious of her, but because I was worried she would suggest something absolutely outrageous. "Fight me." "What the? What? You mean right here during Walpurgis?" "Yep. That way, they'd accept you becoming a demon lord with ease, right?" Ugh. I couldn't find a single way to counter Milim's logic. Sure, fighting her was one definitive way to gain their immediate approval. But well, I felt like fighting Milim here would result in something incredibly troublesome. "Please?" Ugh. My brain is getting completely toyed with by Milim of all people. Don't use that cute tone when begging. It hurts my good conscience when I think about refusing. Fine. Since it would be bad if I continued to lose my composure, I decided to accept. Not because I didn't want to think about it anymore, okay? Okay. Wait. Milim spoke up suddenly. "What is it?" Fry was caught completely off guard when Milim interrupted. "You said you are stepping down, right? If so, why don't you become my subordinate?" Guy, who was elegantly swinging back and forth in his luxurious chair, completely fell over onto the floor the moment Milim suggested Fry become her subordinate. Dino, who was frozen as if time had completely stopped for him, could not comprehend Milim's sudden statement. DeGruel simply closed his eyes and began praying, while Luminous was visibly shaken. Carrion flat out refused to use his brain to listen to Milim anymore. Leon simply didn't care. Ramiris was fast asleep and completely unconscious. What? Why would you want to? Let's see, I have this massive territory, right? But I don't have anyone to help me look after it, so I thought I'd want to recruit you. Carrion, if you want to, you can join me as well. Guy, who was still in the middle of sitting back up, ended up completely breaking his chair when he put his hand out to support himself. He fell flat on his face once again. Dino was slowly turning pure white with every second that passed. The Gruul started to intensely pray, making his voice visibly louder. Luminous had an indescribable face entirely unbecoming of a maiden. It would probably be rude if I mentioned it out loud. Carrion was starting to think back to normal, surprisingly. Leon didn't care at all. Ramiris was, of course, still unconscious. What's going on with all of you? Did you get hit by an unexpected attack or something? Anyways, what do you think? Fry, Carrion. Fry and Carrion looked at each other for a solid 10 seconds before turning back to Milim. If you would have me, I'd be glad to be working with you. Fry was behaving highly unusual for some reason. Well, if you want me to work with you, then you'd better prepare yourself, ha ha ha. Carrion's laugh at the end had heavy hints of awkwardness and confusion mixed into it. Yay! Then, Rimuru, do you remember what you said earlier? Fun fact, Milim, I do. Guy, could you perhaps be a witness to this duel between Milim and myself? Sure. As if nothing chaotic had happened earlier, Guy repaired his broken chair and gave his permission to us without a single shred of hesitation. The barrier I had set up earlier still hadn't faded, so I guided Milim inside and heavily strengthened said barrier to perfectly match our absolute strengths. Wait, a battle. Ramiris, who was forcibly shaken awake by Guy, shouted in absolute surprise. Milim, go easy on me, okay? Since I had already decided to fight her, I tried to think positively. Wahahaha. If I do, I'll be the one that's going to get defeated. I looked around us one more time to assess the other demon lords' reactions. All of them, Leon included, were paying incredibly close attention and were in constant anticipation. Milim entered her battle mode with immense majesty. Her equipment instantly transformed into armor clad in pure black, her strength rising constantly as a wide smile spread across her face. Of course, I wouldn't let her completely outdo me since this is an official competition, so I decided to enjoy it. While I looked weak at first glance, my outfit rapidly turned pure black, indicating that I was getting entirely serious. At the same time, I released a bit of the fake information I was sending out to them, adjusting my apparent stats so I could match Milim perfectly. Name Milim Nova. EP 105,153,256, constantly rising, utilizing stardust energy. Name Rimuru Tempest. EP 189,156,382, constantly rising, utilizing turn null energy. Guy and all of the demon lords stared in absolute awe at the two of us. One could feel the sheer, suffocating amount of pressure emanating from our bodies as large shockwaves of wind escaped the barrier. Well then, Rimuru, let me take the first blow. For a fraction of a second, Milim completely disappeared, only to reappear dead center in front of me. But of course, I had easily tracked her movement. She tried to land a devastating punch on me by slightly pulling back her left hand, immediately thrusting it forward straight toward my face. I could afford to take this hit directly, but I wasn't so naive as to do that. I cleanly caught her fist, making it come to a complete stop. Milim grew an even wider smile on her face as she readies her right hand. Right, that left punch was just a clever distraction, which even I could obviously see through. Since I practiced a bit of martial arts, I made full use of it during this fight. As she was about to make contact with her fist against my abdomen, I slightly moved my left foot backward to the right, barely avoiding her strike. I tried to counter by kicking her using my right knee. I didn't entirely expect it to hit, but it connected anyway. Taking full advantage of the unexpected success, I grabbed her fist and threw her away, making her crash heavily into the barrier with a loud, resounding thud. The reason I kicked her away was mainly because of the grueling fight I predicted would happen if she and I were to engage in close combat. That would be extremely disadvantageous for me. Magic, one of my absolute specialties, was the primary reason I distanced ourselves. I made immediate use of the exact attack Veldora used in order to hurt Velgrind, just to see if it would work on Milim. Surprisingly, it had a tremendous effect. Did Sile enhance it with Turn Null? That master. Correct, is. I see. Good thinking, Sile. Now Milim has at least some visible injuries on her. Nice one, Rimuru. But now, I'll start getting truly serious. Here she comes. Bring it on, Milim. Chapter 33, Demon Lord's Debut Part 3. A few minutes had passed since the official start of our duel. If this were the old me, before I evolved into an ultimate slime, I would have most likely been heavily struggling right now. But that doesn't apply to me anymore. Even now, as Milim launches her fists at me with speed that easily surpasses the speed of sound, I can keep up. When the current Milim first encountered me in the past, our fight was only for a very brief moment. But this one will undoubtedly last significantly longer than that previous encounter. She doesn't have any killing intent whatsoever, but that doesn't mean she will hesitate to completely pummel me down. Thankfully, I have a highly reliable partner named Sile. Honestly, if she weren't here, I would have flat out refused to fight Milim, even if I had to take drastic measures to avoid it. Don't get too distracted, Rimuru. Aren't you having the time of your life, Milim? She continuously closes the distance every single time I try to widen it. She knows perfectly well that I will be at a disadvantage in close quarters. I swiftly drew my sword, which led to Milim hesitating for a fraction of a second. Good opportunity. I instantly charged magic into my sword using null energy, then charged straight at Milim. Good, it looks like I am slowly gaining the momentum I wanted here. She doesn't have enough time to draw out her own weapon. But she is handling my slashes incredibly well for someone fighting completely barehanded. Realizing that she was at a tactical disadvantage, Milim decided to distance herself this time. You're not going anywhere. Although from an outside perspective it would seem that I am successfully backing Milim into a corner, that couldn't be any farther from the truth. I can clearly sense that Milim is trying to lure me in by deliberately falling back. As soon as I realized this, I immediately stopped my advance and distanced myself. Oh? So you noticed, Rimuru? Not bad, but too late. Suddenly, a massive magic circle appeared on the floor, specifically aimed at my location. Thankfully, Sile managed to completely see through it beforehand. Alert! Beginning masters notice a barrier being counterattack. Detected. Has immediate of powers seal spacetime that would. Wahahaha. Even you will have trouble against that barrier, Rimuru. Are you entirely sure about that, Milim? At that exact moment, the barrier seal completely collapsed as I casually walked right through it toward her. How? Naive, Milim. Naive. Because of this small time frame she managed to secure, she successfully drew her sword. In terms of pure swordplay, she definitely has far more experience, but I feel like we are somehow evenly matched. She strikes indifferently, making it incredibly hard for me to predict where her blade will hit me next. Ah. Crap, she managed to cleanly slash me after continuously focusing on a single attack pattern. This was most likely her plan all along, trying to slow down my reaction time by suddenly switching her style. Her sword is immensely powerful, I can feel it vibrating through every single clash our weapons make. Strong gusts of wind followed our every movement, escalating with every impact we made against each other. Even as she fights, she smiles wildly at me, which honestly sends shivers straight down my spine. But this time, I couldn't help but smile right back. I increased the overall intensity of my strikes, slowly turning the tactical advantage around. Every time she takes a few steps back, I release a relentless barrage of null-enhanced crimson flames, cornering her once more. Milim wouldn't let herself get pinned down like that, so she decided to launch her ultimate move directly at me. Dragon Nova. The most powerful card in her entire arsenal that she has shown me yet. I immediately utilized soul consumption to take the absolute bulk of her attack. Nonetheless, I didn't suffer 0 damage from that monstrous blast. What the hell? Why are you using such endgame moves this early in the fight? Because it's fun. As expected of a total battle maniac, calling a devastating move like that fun. Well, if you are starting to get serious, why don't I start too? I instantly charged my entire body, my sword included, with turn null energy. This greatly enhanced not only my physical capabilities, but everything else too. My senses, my spatial awareness, and every little detail were amplified to the max. Thanks to the raw null energy enhancing my body, I firmly held the upper hand against Milim once more. I tried a few advanced tactics to catch Milim off guard, but as expected, it's not nearly as easy as I thought it would be. She is incredibly fast, which makes landing a clean hit quite difficult. But alas, I managed to pull it off anyway. Milim was a single second late in dodging my null-enhanced sword, which immediately resulted in her losing a massive amount of her magicules. Name Milim Nova. EP 98,154,123, constantly rising, utilizing stardust energy. Name Rimuru Tempest. EP 286,156,382, constantly rising, utilizing turn null energy. Turn null is an incredibly important factor for me in this fight. If I were not actively using it, I would have had significantly more trouble. Milim's stardust energy, which is also incredibly potent, is increasing in speed as it rapidly replenishes Milim's lost energy. You could even say she is going to completely catch up with me if I don't do something to actively disrupt it. Why would I go so far to lower her magicule count, you ask? Well, that is exactly what I need to do in order to cleanly end the battle. Since we weren't fighting to the death, I had to make her lose via exhaustion one way or another. But her skill, that is her biggest trump card. Milim possesses an ultimate skill called Wrathful King Satan, details brought to you directly by StaciaPLE. Wrathful, however, King Satan, Wrathful A and Anger Constant continuously converts energy, exponentially. Feature feed her in increasing into it magicules. Needs of order power raw she supply this to users utilize Wrath. So as long as she runs out of gas, I win, right? This just happens to resonate perfectly with the plan I prepared. I could feel her power getting stronger and stronger with each heavy blow she deals. Now, I'll just have to wait it out until she gets tired. Also I thought. However, Breeder Mana Milim Reactor. Their ability and capable densest energy extremely generating has infinitely. Is limitation of 1 overcome possible potent that the two types using way. Are you serious? What kind of overpowered, cheat ability is that? Moreover, she can generate it infinitely. Plus, it can actively rival my own turn null. I'm completely doomed, aren't I? Not Breeder Mana Master. Milim's my null. Reactor. Turn an analysis any form her in indicates inferior is merely not of or shape, that aversion way, worry, your. I see. That's a massive relief, but she is still constantly getting stronger by the second here. What do I do about that? Please I master. Already at BEs, have measures. Necessary prepared that Sile stated in an incredibly proud tone. Sure, just hurry up and tell me what it is. I'm getting completely overwhelmed over here. Since Breeder I King Mana Masters Milim's Nulls Reactor. Satan, skill, thanks turn ultimate Wrathful also analyze and body collected completely data decided energy. Enhance even fully have heavily her highly how information master obtained on output, power, recovery speed. Surpassing the to truly upused useful using yet. Compared to the other absurd things she has done, I suppose this option isn't as completely overpowered. While I felt immensely relieved that StaciaPLE didn't do anything too crazy this time, I took a heavy swing at Milim to check and see what the results looked like. And boy, was I wrong. The saying words can be deceiving magnificently displayed itself right before my eyes. Milim, who was initially taking a standard blocking stance, was completely unprepared for Rimuru's newfound, extreme power. It was far too late for her to notice that Rimuru's entire strength had shifted, making it clear he had been holding back quite a bit up until now. She received a powerful blow as Rimuru struck her blade, an impact capable of easily knocking her back at great speed straight toward the barrier's wall. A highly visible crack instantly formed on the barrier. What the hell was that? Guy shouted, completely dumbfounded from outside the barrier. Name Milim Nova. EP 36,154,256, slowly rising, utilizing stardust energy. Name Rimuru Tempest. EP 489,456,897, constantly rising, utilizing turn null energy. Milim looked at me with a dumbfounded and slightly scared expression. She seemed to be actively struggling to even get back up. Just what the hell did you do, StaciaPLE? He. Don't master this absolutely before entirely forget, from is level necessary. Of power still that the threat unknown. Just before I was going to thoroughly interrogate her, she completely silenced me with information she had carefully prepared in advance. Won't fate let me win against her in a single argument just once? Stop! Stop! Rimuru is the winner. Don't destroy this precious, handmade dimension, Rimuru. You're exaggerating. Relax, dude. And what do you mean by destroy this dimension? The absolute nerve of you. Can't you see the literal result of your battle? At his words, I looked around to see nothing in particular. What could have possibly been broken here? Notice. Distortion Master Milim. This against a battle currently Dimension Direct 56 had in is a %. Result separate than this? Oh. Well, is there any way we could possibly avoid getting blackmailed by Guy? I swear that guy must be planning something devious. He is even smirking, although he looks quite frustrated at the same time. I master. Already emit, on. Accept this as my official apology, Guy. I gestured for Guy to take a close look at the space, seeing as the cracks and distortions were being fixed rather rapidly right now. Geez, is there anything you can't do, Rimuru? Want to find out? No, thank you. While I was talking to Guy, I started to heal Milim at a rapid pace. A standard full potion wasn't going to fully restore her in this depleted state, so I had to manually restore her energy myself. Just like that, my battle with Milim came to an end.